let's dive into this. Have you ever seen it? A brand new online brokerage launches with all the bells and whistles. Top-tier tech, a slick interface, and then crickets. It happens all the time, and the reason why isn't what you might think. We're going to uncover that one critical thing that stops traders cold right before they hit deposit. This quote from our source material, man, it just cuts right to the heart of the problem. The real issue isn't the software. It's not about the features. No, it all comes down to a single gut-level feeling. And this really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, the engine is perfect, the technology is flawless, but traders won't even get in the car, let alone turn the key. So what's really going on inside a trader's head at that make-or-break moment? And that brings us to what the source calls the replaceability problem. See, a white label solution gives you this ready-made business that looks fantastic on the surface, but it's an illusion. Because while the tech is there, an absolutely crucial ingredient for success is just missing. This slide just lays out that missing piece perfectly. On one side, you have capability. Sure, the tech works, the operations are legitimate. But on the other side, you have confidence, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's the trust to actually deposit money. It's the belief that you'll still be around next year. It's that hard-earned credibility. And that gap between the two, that's the trap where so many new brokers get stuck. Okay, so now let's flip the script. Let's put ourselves directly in the trader's shoes. What is going through their mind when they land on one of these new brokerage sites? What are those psychological red flags that make their finger just hover over the deposit button and then leave? The very first thought that pops into their head, wait a minute, I've seen this before. Because of all the shared platforms and templates, there's this instant subconscious feeling of genericness. It feels like just another cookie-cutter site they've seen a dozen times. And that feeling of sameness immediately triggers the next question. So, who's actually behind this? If the brand feels disposable, traders naturally start looking for the people. And if they find nothing, just anonymous leadership, no real profiles, that little bit of unease starts to turn into real suspicion. And here it is, the final nail in the coffin. That anonymity plus that generic design makes the whole company feel like a temporary pop-up shop. And let's be real. Who is going to deposit their hard-earned money into a business that feels like it could just vanish into thin air tomorrow? So you see, it's not just some vague feeling. We're talking about tangible red flags that people pick up on. Template websites, faceless leaders, a digital footprint that's basically just paid ads, and absolutely zero press mentions or third-party validation. These are the alarm bells that scream irreplaceable and, frankly, high risk. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? At the end of the day, people trust things that look like they're built to last. A brand that looks replaceable just doesn't look durable, and it's never going to earn the kind of trust it takes to get someone to part with their money. All right, so we've really dug into the problem. Now for the good part. What's the solution? The great news is there's a clear roadmap. Our source material lays out a super practical 6-step plan to start building that essential credibility right from the get-go. But before we dive into those steps, you got to get this one thing straight. Building trust isn't about outspending your competitors. It's a strategy game. It's about being smarter and more deliberate in how you show up in the world. So here's the blueprint. It all starts with figuring out your brand before you even launch. Then you make your leadership public, put faces to the name, get some strategic press, be transparent about how you operate, keep your message consistent everywhere, and, this is the big one, build that trust slowly before you start throwing money at ads. What you're really building with these steps is something the source calls reputation infrastructure. And that's the perfect way to think about it. You wouldn't dream of launching without your tech infrastructure, right? Well, in the same way, you can't afford to launch without your trust infrastructure, that combination of visibility and validation that tells the world you're a serious player, here for the long haul. So you do all this work. What's the reward? What's the long-term payoff for investing in credibility right from day one? Let's take a look at how this all plays out. This timeline shows it all. Building trust is a compounding game. Yeah, year one is all about laying that foundation, and it might feel slow. But by year 2, you start to see real recognition, real momentum. And by year 3, you're not the new kid anymore. You're an established, trusted brand. And that's when the real growth kicks in. You know, if we boil this entire thing down to its absolute core, this is it. Technology lets you open for business. It enables your operations. But it's your reputation that actually enables deposits. It's that simple. You need both to win.
So, the end goal of this entire strategy is a total transformation. It's about moving from being just another forgettable platform in a sea of lookalikes to becoming a distinct, recognizable brand that people actually feel good about trusting with their money.
And we'll leave you with this, a final checklist. Before you pour another dollar into a marketing campaign, or maybe before you even launch, just ask yourself these three simple questions. Are we distinct? Are we visible anywhere beyond our own paid ads? And honestly, do we look durable? Answering those is the first and most important step you can take.